You know, we're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony. And in this next speedrunny, Janglestorm will be invading your TV with Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Busts Loose. Take it away.
All right, thank you so much, Dijon, and yeah, welcome back everybody to the second day of Power Up with Pride. Very happy to be the opener for today, and thanks all for the good luck. Yeah, we'll be opening with some cartoons. Why not? It's Tiny Toons after all. This is a game that I grew up with as a kid, and I've always enjoyed playing. And years later, I decided to pick it up for a speedrun. And in this case, you'll be actually seeing the entire game. We're going to be running normal mode, which is showing all of the levels. So, just to give you a bit of an idea, going into options, I'm playing on the Japanese version because it's faster in certain cases with fewer texts. You have, in this case, two difficulties. It's like, I think they call it like a children's difficulty. It's like an easier difficulty where you have some of the stages or some of the screens, and normal mode just shows everything. So you're gonna get the full experience, basically. It's your favorite speedrun marathon trope. Honestly, yeah, it's a good one, for sure. All right, let's just go into the game and we'll show you what it's about. For tech, the time will start as soon as I gain control of Buster, so that's gonna be as soon as we enter the first level. Gonna skip this cutscene and time gonna start right now. And yeah, we're off. As you can see, this is a game with lots of dashing. There's an actual dash meter. And this is, of course, very handy for the speedrun. You want to basically utilize it as much as possible. And at some point it runs out. You can refill it with these Go-Go Dodo statues that you see across here. And there's going to be all kinds of cool stuff with that. But there's more. We're also going to be doing stuff like dash cancels. In this case, I'm going to be using them to stay airborne for a little bit and skip that book section there. Right onto the first mini-boss, which is in the dark. We're going to be stealing this key, get access to the elevator here. Nice little jump in the slide. Now going to the kitchen of this Looniversity. As it turns out, Dizzy is there going through the kitchen, and we have to basically feed him all of the food and just slow him down a little bit. How do we do that? Well, we basically stomp these platforms, and if there's food on there, it will basically bounce. You can bounce them towards Dizzy, and sometimes I bounce on these platforms in order to make him reverse direction. Can be a bit precise. You have to basically make sure to tap the platforms correctly, so to say. But yeah, if that all goes well, you can basically make quick work of this level, or of this boss. And there you go. Fast asleep.
In between stages, do I have time to read a quick donation?
Oh, sure. Go for it.
We got $75 from Mooware with no comment, so thank you very much for that donation.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mooware. Alright, in between levels you have these bonus games, and there's basically one thing we want to do. We want to make sure that we get Hampton. Because why? Hampton is by far the quickest minigame, so it's a bonus game we can finish quickest. And, well, how do we do that? Well, simple, we just make sure Hampton drops in the hole. Normally it's supposed to follow a path and pick up these apples, but it's slower if we don't want that. The surrounding bonus games are by far longer, so you really have to make sure that you press the button at the right moment and you will get the right minigame. But, you know, there we go. Okay, on to the next stage. This is a Western theme thing. I mean, very common theme for games, I guess. And we're going to be doing some rope jumping. This last part, we're going to be kind of dashing our way out of there, because otherwise we get this little scene where Buster walks away, and that's slower, so that kind of overrides that. Alright, onto these stairs we go. Gonna make sure to find the barrels. Oh. Okay, those were very sticky stairs, apparently. There we go. Max is over there. Montana Max. Trying to get away with the gold from the safe. Here you have to go after him. Yeah, you can do this double jump. You can basically sort of... I was mentioning dash cancels. You can almost do like a jump cancel by spinning as soon as you do a jump. And you can basically utilize that very handily with that rope section and make very quick work of that. You can do it even faster than what I was doing just now. Oh yes, supposedly these are nets that are supposed to catch me, but if I hug the right side of the wall, they'll have no hitbox whatsoever.
I did not know you could do that.
Yeah, it's good to know. I didn't, as a kid, I didn't know that either, but I found out later when I was seeing the speedrun, and yeah, it's convenient. But yeah, this is a very, very long auto-scroller. With very good music, might I add, but it's kind of surprising in the sense that this is the second level and they decided to do a, well, in this case, minutes-long auto-scroller. At least there's a lot to do, and there's some sections where it's kind of breaking away from that convention, but still. Bane of your childhood. Yeah. This can be a tricky part. You have to make sure to dash and stay on these platforms as they're dropping, because they're basically floating at some point. Are there any good train levels that are also auto-scrollers? That's a good question. I'm gonna think about that one. Oh yeah, also, there's relatively few checkpoints. This is actually the first checkpoint in this level, so if you would die beforehand, you would have to redo that entire first section. But thankfully, we just skipped that, so we're good now. And so it continues. This is always one of those parts where I kind of like showing off the double jump strat, because there's this so-called dash jump that you can do, where you can basically keep jumping as long as you perform a dash cancel and jump on the very first frame of that dash cancel. But it's super precise. But it kind of looks like that. But doing that multiple times in a row is really tough. But if you look at some of the top jumps, that's what they do basically, so yeah. Okay, I was actually trying to get him to move my way with that first attack, but I did direct it the wrong way. So it took a little bit longer, but... Little meeting boss there. I'm gonna be doing some... well, it's not too bad. Just gonna make sure not to miss those jumps. And at some point we can get on the next wagon again. Yeah, the Abraham Lincoln mini boss. True. Right.
A little bit of Tiny Toon's lore that mini boss is the villain from the episode Sawdust and Toonsil.
Oh, it was from an actual episode. I mean, I have seen the show as a kid. It used to air at one of the TV channels. I don't recall much of it, but I loved watching it at the time. I do know that a lot of the references and jokes were very much of its time, so I do know that, but I think a lot of that was missing on me at the time, because it was also not in English when I was watching it. Alright, now onto this boss, this front of the train. We're just hanging out here. Is that safe, you wonder? Well, let's just say... yeah, it's totally safe. It's a little funny little clip there. You can basically hug the wall and then dash. I think what's happening is Buster is basically dashing up the wall, but since the wall is about to leave the screen, it basically disappears or something, so you're just being transported over there, it seems like. But anyway, let's skip the upper layer of this, so you don't have to destroy those pipes with the fires that are being thrown at you, so we could just relax for a little bit. And yeah, they're really drawing out the auto-scroller aspect of this, just kind of panning from left to right and such. Just slowly showcasing the entire thing. You can also go down there. If you're running low on lives, you can actually pick one extra life up there, but you can actually hang out over there, over here. You don't even have to go down there. Because I can just walk off here, and exactly at the right moment, as soon as I do that, that's when the fire breaks out, and normally that would have hit me, but no worries there. So we finally caught up with Max here, who is looking like he's in a bit of a... seems like he's a bit in despair. He wants to get off the train, I guess. We drew the train, we're gonna see the train. Exactly. So yeah, we escaped by this handcart, and in case you're wondering, do I actually have to mash here in order to make this thing go faster? No, I don't have to do anything at all. This is all completely scripted. I could just sit back and relax as they get it to 140 kilometers per hour.
So you know, in English, that's a reference. It's a reference to Back to the Future with 88 miles per hour. I don't know if that's the equivalent in.
Yeah. Oh, now come to think of it, yeah. That is probably the reference. I never even thought of that, but you're right. That does roughly translate to 100. Yeah, that's roughly 88 miles per hour, I think. You're right. Okay, so these minigames are now faster because we had the introduction. So if you're gonna get the same minigame twice in a row at least, it will basically skip the intro after the first time. So that's also a little bit of a save there. Okay, now we're in the Ghost Mansion, so we're gonna have some spoopy times here. First, you know, trying to dash past all of these ghosts. We've got some seesaws here. See if we can do some stuff here. Nice. So you can actually, there's this weird quirk where you would get on there and it would instantly launch you. And sometimes it's because it still registers you as dashing over it from a certain point. So that's, yeah, interesting to see that happen there. The timing of that is a bit precise though, but... There we go. Going past these. And it's almost time for the next boss. We're finding Babs here, who was apparently hanging out here. And there is this Dr. Gene Splicer who has put Melvin the Monster on this mind control machine. He's wearing this helmet. You basically have to hit him, and he's gonna fire these projectiles consisting of... Oh, there we go. Gotta make sure to hit those bolts. The lightning bolts don't do anything, but make sure to do that. And those bolts can destroy the machine, so we have to make sure to do that. And there's some RNG involved, I guess, so you want to make sure that you get as many bolts as possible. Kind of depends, really. Sometimes you get mostly lightning bulbs, and that's great RNG-wise. This took a little bit longer. Although, to be fair, I also missed a couple of rounds here. But that's fine. Of course, the helmet. And yeah, that was this level. So if you play this on easy, you don't get any of the boss fights whatsoever, and it also skips one of the levels entirely later on. So that's like a really, really short experience. Let's see, are we getting... Okay, we're looking good on the minigame side. We're getting Hamptons. That's what we want. So the way I get to Hampton is I'm basically trying to set up this sort of buffer, at least in terms of inputs, because you want to basically press the B button as soon as you see the arrow appear, but it's not on exactly the same frame. So it's kind of... On which frame you press it, that kind of depends, but... Let's see... I was saying that, and we're already on to some football. and this is exactly how football works in my mind. You just jump over your opponents.
I mean, it's technically not wrong.
I was technically not wrong, but this, I mean, I don't know much about football, but this is, in my mind at least, is how it works. I did slightly mess up my timing here, though, so this takes much longer if you wind up messing this up. But if you get the jumps right, this can be done really quickly. So. Okay, well, I'll just do this. If you have anything to say or any donations or anything, and now's a good time, Dijon.
Okay, well, you are watching Power Up with Pride 2026 here on Twitch. We are running from June 5th through June 7th, and we are benefiting Point of Pride. To find out more about them, you can find the link to their site in the panels below the stream, or use !charity in chat. If you are interested in donating, you can type !donate in chat, find the schedule by using !schedule, or see the incentives with !incentives.
It's almost done. We're getting very close to the finish line here. I do remember playing this as a kid, and it took me a little bit before I got here. I don't think I've ever gotten through without a single hiccup, but that's actually really tough to do. So at least the first half went perfectly fine, but yeah, I just slightly messed up the second half. So, but that was a quick round of football. On to the mini games again. See what we get this time. So in this case, I'm basically pressing a different button before I press B. So I'm basically doing like a roll of buttons from the one to the other. Like you're sort of flicking from one button to the other. And so I try to press B a little bit later than than the first moment that you can press that button. Yeah, I must say I'm pretty pleased with that. It saves a lot of time if you get Hampton every single time. Like my estimate is actually 30 minutes to kind of account for that, just in case I wind up getting all the other mini games. But yeah. So now this is the level that you don't see on the easier difficulty. This is entirely skipped. I don't know why, but I think it's also because the easy difficulty skips all of the bosses. But yeah, otherwise you could have still shown some of this, I guess. But yeah, this is a little bit of a slower section. If you know how to test them, this can be done a lot quicker, but it basically requires you to do these air jumps repeatedly. But if you look at some of the top times of this, you get a bit of an idea what it looks like. It's actually amazing. Like I can do them every now and then, but I can do them consistently enough to actually go for them during the run. Yeah, here's another auto-scroller with more birds. It's pretty chill at least, and all the other scrolls right now are like shorter than what you saw on the Western level. So. Just going from left to right. Just gonna make sure not to fall off. So so I'm currently playing on the Japanese version. The other versions of the game actually have a hard difficulty as well. And they basically give you less health. I think it was like either 1 or 2 HP that you get, so it's not a whole lot to work with. At least in this case you have a bit more, it's a bit more lenient. And because we haven't seen everything yet, here's some pinball. I find it interesting that a lot of the boss fights aren't really like, you know, boss fights and that you have to fight something, but you have to get through something like a train that's about to be destroyed, or a pinball section. And here we have to basically get to this chest, which contains a book. Apparently a magic book or something, I don't know, but it leads to this escape. This, I feel, kind of reminds of the beginning of the game, where they basically explain you how the dashing works with refilling your dash meter and everything. Except without any explanations, because they assume that you know what to do. But there we go. One more stage to go. Well, first this, but we're getting close to the end. Let's see. Oh, good. Okay, so I got all Hamptons. That's good. That's 5 out of 5. Once more. And now we're on to a space level, because that's the one thing that we haven't had yet. This is the level called Space Opera.
Level is based off of an episode that was a parody of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's also very much visible here. I mean, we're literally gonna fight. Well, I mean, you could probably guess who we're gonna fight at the end. But yeah, that's exactly who we're gonna fight. Yeah, it's an entire tribute to Star Wars here. This part always nicely shows how you can basically extend your dash meter by jumping and sliding. So as long as you do that, you do get some additional movement out of it still. So you can basically have the meter run out and then still keep going. Oh, by the way, here's a flashing warning. For those photosensitive, there's going to be some instances of that here. Because it's going to be, they're going to be shooting at us, and that's going to lead to some, well, some instances of flashing, so just want to point it out. We have these containers that we can hide behind. Just got to make sure to not get hit by that. Although we don't instantly die if we do though, but I want to make sure to have enough health for the boss fight and such. We're almost done. One more. And okay, this part we're having this massive, well, wrecking ball of sorts. I'm gonna see if I can do a thing here. Tried a couple of times. If not, no, okay. So I decided to try it a couple of times, but you can technically skip that by jumping at exactly the right frame. I'm not sure if it's frame perfect or not, but you can skip this section where you would have to break the wall, and you basically are upside down for a little bit, and then the game's like, oh wait, no, you're not supposed to be upside down. Then it sort of restores that. It's funny. All right. A little bit of a course here. We can choose between hard and easy courses. I'm gonna go for the hard course because it's close to where I am. Just gotta make sure not to hit those out buttons because those will send down barrels and those hurt, and you have to redo that entire section again. So just gonna make sure not to do that. And then one more screen right over here. Launching ourselves. Okay, nice. You also one of those walls that you can jump over somehow. Saves a bit of time. And now we're on to the last boss fight. This is Darth Vader, who is soon gonna wield a massive laser gun thing, and we basically have to fight him with its own fire, and we have to make it spin. So we'll see how that goes. So he'll take 7 hits in total. Time is gonna be as soon as I lose control of my character, so possibly get ready for that. I'm actually getting a really good setup right now, so this is 5, I think. 6. Let's see, and time.
GG.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. This can be a pretty tricky boss fight. It can still lose you a lot of time if it doesn't entirely go your way. But there's ways of making that go faster. So I was pretty pleased with how that went. So now we get a little epilogue here. Princess Babs is congratulating us on succeeding at what we did. The galaxy is at peace. You know, we truly did it. Truly did it. So this too, you don't actually get to see on easy difficulty. So starting with normal or the regular difficulty, you do get to see like the ending as well. So a little bit of an extra. Oh yeah, there's a little thing. It actually turns out that this was a movie somehow. Because Duck Vader obviously is, you guessed it, Plucky Duck. And it was all a movie. Honestly, I'm shocked. Well, there you go. Thanks for the GGs, everybody. Yeah, I've played this quite a bunch as a kid. I've always loved this game very much, so it was nice to finally get back to it all these years later. It's one of the... I've run a couple of Tiny Toons games since I started speedrunning, and this is definitely one of my favorites that I've run so far. What was my time, by the way?
Your time was 23:15.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was really that was pretty good. The mini games can save so much. Like if you get one of the surrounding mini games, you got the Plucky Duck mini game, which is this bingo, which takes almost like a minute to complete, and you got the Tweety Bird mini game, which is like 40 seconds or something. So those take way longer than the Hampton mini game. So if I would have been if we would have if we would have pressed the button at a different moment, I would have probably got one of those. But I've gotten really lucky with that, so I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, that was Tiny Toons. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks to Power Up with Pride for having me run these two games. It was wonderful to be back once again, and yeah, it's been fun to see the marathon so far. Looking forward to see what's up coming up next still. Be sure to keep watching and donating for Point of Pride for a very good cause. And let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, I mean, I normally stream various speedruns, mostly retro, some indie platforming. And if you like to watch that, feel free to drop a follow so you can watch that as well if you like. And that's all I have. I'm gonna throw it over to the host, and I'll be signing off. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Janglestorm, for that run of Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Busts Loose. This is Power Up with Pride 2026, benefiting Point of Pride. We are running from June 5th through June 7th. That's this weekend. And we've got plenty more coming up, so don't go away. Welcome back to Power Up with Pride 2026. We are supporting Point of Pride. And, chat, I don't want to